Welcome to a literal psychological heist. Today, in this explainer, we are breaking into the single most heavily guarded vault on planet Earth, the human mind. We're diving straight into Dr. Addissouky's framework. Part 4, Know Others, Reading Souls and Building Circles. Let's get right into it.
So, let me ask you something. Do you really know the person sitting next to you right now? Your best friend, your business partner, maybe your spouse? You probably think you do, right? You know their favorite food, their weird little habits, the same stories they always tell. But I'm here to completely shatter that illusion. Because what you know is just the surface. It's a mask built purely for social survival. Buried right underneath that mask are ancient, deep-rooted biological and psychological drivers that are quietly dictating their every single move, every fear, every desire. What if I told you there are actual, absolute scientific formulas to decode these hidden truths?
Now, before I hand you the keys to this, a quick but absolutely critical alert. This content is strictly for scientific awareness. We're dealing with incredibly powerful psychological tools and deep behavioral science here. These aren't just cheap parlor tricks, okay? This is the literal architecture of human interaction, so proceed with responsibility. To really grasp the massive stakes here, listen to this quote from the legendary 17th century samurai Miyamoto Musashi. He said, "If you would take a man's life, you must first understand him. If you would save a man, you must first know his heart." Just let that sink in for a second. Understanding others isn't just some soft corporate skill. Throughout human history, it has quite literally been a matter of life or death. It is the ultimate tactical advantage. And today, we are handing you the map.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, Decoding the Big Five and Unlocking the Ocean Model. This right here is the absolute gold standard in academic psychology for predicting what humans will do. Every single human on this earth operates on a spectrum of 5 specific traits: openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. OCEAN, Ocean. This model is essentially your cheat sheet for every human interaction you will ever have. Let's say you're dealing with someone who has high openness. They are intensely curious, super creative, which means you absolutely must provide them with novelty, intellectual stimulation, creative freedom. But try using that same chaotic, free-flowing approach with someone who has high conscientiousness? No way. You will completely alienate them. They need clear structures, strict deadlines, and they need you to recognize their reliability. Spot their trait, and you can literally tailor your reality to perfectly match their psychological needs.
Now, we can layer that with Carl Jung's psychological types from 1921, which you probably know today through the MBTI. This isn't just abstract theory, it's a secret formula to decode functional archetypes in real time. Are you dealing with the SJ Guardians, the protectors of tradition and stability? Or maybe the SP Artisans, who are just absolute masters of living in the present moment? Or what about the NF Idealists seeking deep human potential? Are the NT Rationals, the cold calculating architects of massive systems and ideas? Pinpoint someone's archetype and boom, you instantly know exactly how they process information.
But what about their deepest, darkest fears? Well, for that, Dr. Addissouky points us straight to the Enneagram. This is rooted in ancient Sufi wisdom and was systemized in the 1970s, revealing the 9 faces of the soul. See, this framework completely bypasses logic. It goes straight to the raw trauma and the raw desire driving a person. Got a Type 3 achiever in your life? They are secretly terrified of being worthless, so you have to sincerely recognize their achievements. Dealing with a Type 8 challenger, their absolute core fear is being controlled, so you must show them strength and total directness. Or a Type 9 peacemaker, they fear conflict above everything else. Once you know a person's type, it's like you hold the invisible strings pulling their heart.
But hold on, what if the actual words leaving a person's mouth are the least important part of communication? Let's move to Section 2, Reading the Unspoken Truth and the Incredible Science of Nonverbal Dominance. Enter microexpressions. These were discovered by Dr. Paul Ekman at UC San Francisco. He found that there were exactly 7 universal facial emotions: happiness, sadness, fear, disgust, anger, surprise, and contempt. And here is the truly mind-blowing part about this. These expressions flash across the face in a fraction of a single second. They are biologically impossible to fake. Before a liar even has the time to formulate their fake sentence, their facial muscles have involuntarily betrayed their true feelings. If you learn to spot these, you have a literal, scientifically proven superpower to spot deception on the fly. Now consider this single, absolutely shocking number: 38%.
According to researcher Albert Mehrabian's famous study, 38% of all emotional meaning in any conversation comes solely from vocal tone. Not the words, the tone. If someone looks at you and says, "I'm fine," but they use a tight, clipped tone, the words mean absolutely nothing. That 38% tells you everything you actually need to know. You're basically deaf to reality if you're only listening to a transcript of what people say.
And then we have proxemics. This was beautifully defined by Edward T. Hall back in 1966. Proxemics is the hidden dimension of personal space. The literal physical distance someone leaves between their body and yours is silently, constantly screaming their true intentions and their comfort level, which, by the way, is heavily dictated by their culture. It's this constant hidden signal that you are likely missing every single day. Are they stepping into your intimate zone? Are they rigidly holding on to the social zone? They're giving you a real-time, physical map of their exact psychological state.
Moving on to Section 3, Building Your Power Circle, the architecture of a Sabiya. Because look, once you have these superpowers to essentially read minds, what do you actually do with it? Well, you architect your reality. You know, the great Jim Rohn famously said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." But centuries before him, way back in 1377, the genius historian Ibn Khaldun described this exact concept as a sabiya, social cohesion. It is literally the engine of human civilization itself. Using your newfound ability to read souls, you have to actively place the people in your life into these 5 strategic circles. Circle 1 is your core, your inner values. Circle 2 is family, your intimate sphere. Circle 3 are your close friends who you specifically curate to challenge and support you. Circle 4 is professional, and Circle 5 is the broader community. You can't just let people wander into your life randomly anymore. You have to act as the gatekeeper. You analyze, you understand, and you structure the ultimate network of extraordinary human beings.
So you've got the psychology down. You've got your circles mapped out. You're completely ready to conquer human interaction. But wait, what happens when the very biological vessel you rely on to connect with others actually begins to fail? Think about it for a second. A malnourished mind literally cannot process microexpressions fast enough. A depleted, exhausted body cannot show up to serve its community. Your perfectly designed social circles will inevitably collapse if your own physical foundation starts crumbling.
Which brings us to the shocking, unavoidable realization that everything we have just learned today is entirely dependent on what comes next. In Part 5 of Dr. Addissouky's masterwork, we are going to decode Nourish All. We're exploring how food, your physical body, and the planet's ecological balance are the vital, undeniable foundations for your actual survival. Because honestly, if you want to maintain your wealth, your happiness, and all these new relationships, you absolutely cannot afford to miss the scientific secrets of nourishment.
You absolutely need to see Part 5. So, do this right now. Subscribe to the channel, like this explainer, and share this channel and this explainer with anyone in your life who desperately needs to wake up and understand the invisible forces running their world. Head over to YouTube and search for Addissouky, that is the Rehlet Hayat channel. The link is youtube.com/@Addissouky. Get yourselves ready for the next massive paradigm shift. مع تحيات الدكتور تامر الدسوقي. I will see you in Part 5.